Emirates is Arsenal have got us underway, and they restart the game with a 2-goal lead thanks to goals from Lacazette and Odegaard. I don't think there's been no changes of note in the half-time interval, so it's as you were in the as the first half. Just a one change was made during the first half, and that was El Yunusi came on for Adam Armstrong due to an injury. But Arsenal now kicking right to left in their traditional home colours as red and white, and Southampton obviously in a change strip of all black today. And if you missed the first half, Southampton made all the early run in, but Arsenal finished stronger, and Ralph Hasenhüttl will be furious that his side weren't able to grab a goal. But Arsenal have carried the second half as they finished the first with Martinelli on the left, cuts back onto the right. And Xhaka is not known he's known from some pile drivers from distance, but he tried to finesse that into the corner, and he's just hit that wide over.
No, he's really scuffed this. He's really scuffed this as Xhaka. There were a couple of options here for Martinelli, but he saw Xhaka's completely unmarked at the edge of the area. He probably could have looked at trying to chip that one into the box as well, but he decided to go first time, and it goes a long way wide.
Yes, they do, and as if Arsenal were to finish winners today, they would jump above Man United and Tottenham. Tottenham's game obviously suspended for code reasons, and Man United are playing away at Norwich tonight in the evening game, which you can catch on this service if you're interested. And Arsenal still carrying on with Bukayo Saka on that right-hand side. Walker-Peters standing him up. He's brought the ball in field for Odegaard. It's slightly opened up for Arsenal there, but then Benrick and Stevens come across and shut that door, and Southampton will look to build with Redmond on the right-hand side. Livramento is providing an option as well. Here he is on the halfway line, cuts inside to Ward-Prowse, and Southampton just stall their own attack and turn around and will try again some other way.
Yeah, the main thing for Southampton is not to lose sight of what they've got to do here. They've got to try and get the next goal in this game. 2-1 sounds a lot better than 3-0, and they've got to try and make sure that they don't give Arsenal the sort of space that Arsenal had in the last 15 minutes of the first half, where really it was starting to look a little bit too comfortable for the home side.
Yes, it's a cliche, isn't it? Next goal's the vital one, but it really is. If Arsenal get the third, that's surely they should cruise home. But if 2-1, it just gives Southampton a little bit of an initiative, a bit more, it's like a little lure to come out more. But at the moment, Southampton just wanting time on the ball. They struggled for possession as it got to the closer to the second half, but now they're taking the opposite approach to what they started in the first, where they all came guns blazing.
Yeah, they're just trying to stop Arsenal from getting forward, and on this occasion, Caballero does actually clear it long. It's flicked on. Maybe a chance here now down the left-hand side for Teller.
Yeah, here's Teller. He cuts it back to Walker-Peters, who's coming onto his right-hand side, but it's a heavy touch, and Lacazette has come across. I've been very impressed with Lacazette today. Maybe he enjoys the responsibility without Aubameyang on the pitch, where that's sort of taken away from him. But Redmond's standing up on the right for Southampton. Ward-Prowse is behind him in support, but he's been escorted to the corner flag by two Arsenal midfielders, and they give each other a little hug to congratulate each other, and as Arsenal win the throw.
Yeah, Redmond's not happy. He feels as though he might have been tripped there. Has a bit of a word with the linesman, who just a little bit of a wry smile there from the assistant referee, suggesting that he didn't see anything wrong with that at all. As officials are told to let those mildest of mild fouls go, just to try and speed the game up a little bit. Long throw now from Kieran Tierney.
Kieran Tierney throws it up the line. Ralph Hasenhüttl has found a jacket or two. He was just stood in the rain in his silver suit, in his grey suit in the rain, which was would have got damped and ruined. But got the jacket now. If you're all concerned about that, as Arsenal have the ball in the centre circle, flick it wide. Does Lacazette to Kieran Tierney. Tierney with his shirt tucked in high pulled shorts, running at Livramento, puts the ball into the box now, and the Scottish left back is just overhit that, and Tomiyasu will pick up the pieces at the right hand side, but he's given it away to Teller, and El Yunusi now will break, but El Yunusi just didn't seem to have any pace to get away from the fullback.
No, it's almost like he wasn't sure if he had the ball under his control. There was a moment there where I thought he definitely had the legs to try and at least take on Tomiyasu, but decided just to try and hold on to possession, in the end losing the ball. And Arsenal, from Arsenal's point of view, they don't want to sit back too deep and just allow Southampton to be on the ball. If I was Arsenal, I'd be trying to press high up the field. As we know, there is a mistake in Caballero. Stevens and Bednarek aren't the best defenders at playing out from the back, so there could be mistakes here that Arsenal could take advantage of.
He could, and now Gabriel just picks up a long ball from Southampton. It's a good triangle play, but Partey just has a heavy touch and will give it away to Southampton to build on this right-hand side. Broja now up there by himself after the Adam Armstrong was taken off through injury, and he never really looked comfortable on the ball there, and Arsenal will have a throw as we've had the first 5 minutes of this second half, and no real chances to talk about. Nobody's grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck as Southampton did compared to the first half, but it's always going to be very difficult to restart the game like that as Kieran Tierney's still just waiting for the right option to throw this ball, and it comes now, and he's just simply gone long down the line over the head of Martinelli, and Ward-Prowse will head that forward to Broja down, and Teller's playing a lot more central now, so maybe it's a front two of Teller and Broca and El Yunusi on the left by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think that is what's happened. You're absolutely right. I think that of the two, Teller and El Yunusi, probably Teller is that little bit more suited to play through the middle, whereas El Yunusi is more of a winger.
Indeed, that's that. And Kieran Tierney throws away the towel and gets the ball in field for Partey just to skip round James Ward-Prowse with ease. Good ball carrying skills from Thomas Partey, who's sprayed it left with the outside of his boot for Saka. Odegaard's free on the edge of the box if Saka uses him. Here is Odegaard, shoots for goal, and it's first chance of the game, and Gabriel is quite happy to see that one go over.
Yeah, it's the first real effort we've seen in this second half, and Odegaard's effort. I mean, there's a couple of frustrated Arsenal players there at the edge of the box. Lacazette maybe was expecting a pass, but as Saka gets to the edge of the area, just been blocked there by Walker-Peters, lays it off to Odegaard. The shot's always got little chance of success because he's not really got much of a run-up. He's leaning back a little bit as well, and a curling effort that goes wide in the end.
Yes, Martin Odegaard scored the second goal for Arsenal just before the half-hour mark with a header, if you were to believe so, as Teller comes forward now, as he's escorted to that corner flag by Odegaard, and Odegaard's put a good challenge in, and Tomiyasu will pick that up, and Arsenal will look to break away again, but they've lost out to Southampton. Teller brings it onside to his right. Diallo spreads it wide to the left where El Yunusi and Walker-Peters there will join in the attack, and he's gone down, but it's a good challenge by Tomiyasu, and they've got their legs twisted, the two wing backs, and I think the referee is giving a foul against Walker-Peters, who kind of hooked his leg around Tomiyasu there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few arms raised there, arms aloft in frustration from the Southampton away, and just to the corner of our screen there, Southampton are attacking that goal in the second half. But no, I don't think there's enough to say that Walker-Peters will be brought down for a penalty, but then he does just trip Tomiyasu as he's on the deck, so it probably is the right decision in the end.
Yeah, it's a game of Twister without the Twister mat between the two, and Aaron Ramsdale will get the game underway in his green kit for Arsenal. Goes long down the right-hand side, looking for Saka, but he doesn't win that, but Xhaka will help the ball forward, and Benrek puts his foot for it for Teller to chase. This is interesting now for Southampton. He's going to have to do it by himself. He drives across goal, and Ramsdale makes a good save down to his left, and it's a shame no Southampton player was there following up, or as a simple tap-in.
Well, it's the same reason why Teller was forced to shoot, isn't it? The fact that he had no one to pass to meant that he was forced to take a shot on where the odds on him scoring were pretty low, but because there was nobody following it, once the save was made and there was a rebound to be capitalised on, there was nobody in a black Southampton shirt close enough.
Yeah, it's a good save given the context, but it was an awful bit of a goalkeeper for Ramsdale as Livramento can't keep hold of the ball for a throw. But I'll finish what I'll say about Ramsdale. If there is a striker just on the 6-yard box there following it in, you say that's pretty bad goalkeeping from Ramsdale. The fact that he pushed it back into the area.
Well, that's where they're missing.
Where it came from.
Absolutely. That's where they're missing Adam Armstrong, Max. That's the problem, isn't it? That El Yunusi is a forward player. Redmond is a forward player. Teller is a forward player, but they're all players that prefer to play out wide. Broha is a player who's just sort of getting into the team. He was a little bit off the pace there as well. If Armstrong was still in the side, I'd like to think that he would have been closer to that and would have given Teller the option either to pass to him or that Armstrong could have got on the end of it. But little glimmers for Southampton. Whilst it's still only 2-0, we can say it like that, then they've still got to believe that there's something to be had from this game. The worry for Hasenhüttl will be that when Arsenal are on the ball, they just look that little bit more confident. They're not rushing, they're not clearing the ball long. They're quite confident in playing out from the back. And that must be a worry here for Hasenhüttl as the Gunners in possession now. Yes,
they've shaken off the cobwebs of that, got all their mistakes out the system early on, and now since the 15th minute they've been in the real dominant force. In that 15 minutes they couldn't struggled to put 3 or 4 passes together and get out of their own half, but since then it's all been Arsenal in the driving seat as El Yunusi and Saka compete for the ball, and it will be a Southampton throw. As we've had 10 minutes in the second half at the Emirates. Still 2-0, no goals to tell you about in this game, but there is a penalty at Stamford Bridge, this time for Chelsea, so keep an eye on that. They have a chance to go 2-1 up against Leeds United there as Walker-Peters throws the ball down the line and Saka wins the header and heads it infield. Lacazette tries to pick the ball up, but he's been shoved off the ball by Bednarek, and an advantage played in Southampton's favour. And now with Elyounoussi on the left, and he's a bit dawdly, doesn't get the game going again, but Southampton just want to have time on the ball, don't want to do anything too crazy of it by the looks of it. Want to force Arsenal left and right to try and knock them out of shape as Teller's been brought down by Gabriel, and the referee says play on. What's your view on that, Paul?
Well, looking at it live, I think there is a question to be asked. I never want to say 100% it's a definite penalty or it's not, but the way that Gabriel protested, is that because he feels it's such a bad fall from Teller, or is it because he's just protesting too much just in case, because he felt as though there might have been some contact? The ball's still in play, so we haven't had a chance to see a replay as yet. But there might have been an argument there for a penalty. It just looked as though Teller might have just got ahead of the Arsenal man, as Chelsea have converted that penalty to go 2-1 up. But here comes Martinelli now for Arsenal.
Martinelli's got to wait for players to get into the box. Lacazette just sort of jogging in there. He should have, maybe if someone would have opinion, he should have been busting a gut to get in there for Martinelli. But Arsenal still have the ball. Martinelli, north central, gives it to Odegaard, but Odegaard was only 2 yards away. It's very hard to control a pass when it's fired at you like that, and Southampton clear, but up to nobody in black, and Gabriel, White and Ramsdale just keep it between themselves as they look to find the new way forward, the new path to try and get this third goal, which will surely kill the game and keep the 3 points at the Emirates.
Absolutely, yeah. It was Jorginho with the penalty there for Chelsea, and that's after a VAR review from what we're hearing as well. So the penalty wasn't given live, but then the referee stopped play, checked and decided that a penalty should be given. So Chelsea now 2-1 up against Leeds. It's still goalless between Liverpool and Aston Villa in that big game where Steven Gerrard's gone back to Anfield for the first time. But here at the Emirates, here come Arsenal now with Partey.
Partey, look at all the amount of space for Odegaard to turn into. Slips it for Lacazette. I think it was intended for Lacazette originally, but Lacazette drifted the other way, and Martinelli was able to react to get onto that, but Jack Stevens is able to hook it clear. Just look at this. Odegaard slips it through Lacazette. Yeah, well, I don't know who it was for in the end, but it was a good intent from Odegaard.
Lacazette, the way he drifts there for a second, he was actually in an offside position. Looking at this again, I mean, is it one of those where because Teller's got his arm across Gabriel Magalhaes that's somehow convinced the referee that it shouldn't be a penalty? Because there is probably scope to say that there could have been a bit of contact, but here comes the corner for Arsenal.
And it comes towards the back post. Caballero tries to punch it. They can't get it clear. The ball's in the net, but the offside flag has gone up against the Brazilian centre-half. We'll have to have a look at this. There's a mixture of potentially of offside, a foul on the goalkeeper. Caballero came, flapped at it, wasn't convincing. It's his first game back in a long period of time, so we're just waiting on fuller replay.
Yeah, we'll wait and see whether or not this is going to be given in the end, but certainly it wasn't the most confident attempt to deal with the cross from Willy Caballero. He comes out for this, and he's just about, but he's missed it really. I'm not sure. Can you say there's
Gabriel to even touch it?
Absolutely. As this ball comes in, Caballero gets a touch on it. The question is, as that ball hits Tomiyasu, is Gabriel Magalhaes in an offside position? And I think from the way that we're seeing this replay, I think there may be suggestion that he could have been offside.
But it might have come off the arm of Tomiyasu as well. But Stevens, the number 5, I think is keeping Gabriel on.
It's taking a long time to review this, and I think this could be one of those where it's not going to be so clear-cut. It's just a question of, first of all, they have to decide, is there an offside? Second of all, they have to decide whether or not the ball has come off the arm. I think it has been given as an offside after all of that. And I think our initial thought probably was that it was going to be offside.
Yeah, well, I was expecting more the handball. I thought Stevens was keeping it, Gabriel on, but we're not seeing the lines drawn anymore, are we? The lines only come out in like post-match analysis. Yeah, they come out in the game time.
They do. And also in certain TV companies, I don't know if this has been at the instruction of the Premier League, same in the Champions League as well, they don't seem to show as many replays of the offside as they could do. I think it's almost as if they want VAR to have that little moment of exclusivity. I don't know if that's going to be something that carries on, but certainly on that occasion. We could have done with another couple of replays. We could have done with those lines as well. But the goal has been disallowed, and we're just coming up to the hour mark. Arsenal still lead 2-0.
Hiding behind the TV contract deals. Think of a couple of words about that. Cowards is one of them, as we'll never see the light of day for that replay.
Well, you might be too young to remember this, but there was a time when on certain TV companies during live games at halftime, they would give you a stat, the usual stats, goals on, shots on target, offside, that kind of thing, and they would also have a stat for time spent in play, and it was always around 30 minutes. And I think at one point the Premier League must have said, "Look, stop highlighting the fact that we're losing 15 minutes for throw-ons and offsides and goal kicks," and they've stopped doing that now. But certainly sometimes there can be little secrets revealed by TV pictures, which perhaps the league don't always want to get out. And with these offsides and VAR, it does seem as though it's a plan to not always show the TV viewer all the replays straight away until they're sure of what decision they're going to make.
Yes, as Arsenal have a free click just after the hour mark. Ramsdale came across and just gave Gabriel the old shove and moved him away, and now Arsenal have kept hold of the ball with Martinelli. Good trickery to get out of that dead end, and he's won a corner, has he? Yes, Jared Gile says he has. Livramento just says how.
Well, I mean, Livramento's clearly kicked the ball. Whether or not it's then obvious to Livramento that it's got a deflection off the Arsenal man after that to take it out for a goal kick, that may well be what Tino Livramento is protesting here. Let's see from this reverse angle. I'm not sure. I'm still after that replay. I still think Livramento might have got the last touch on that.
Livramento and Martinelli seem to be making contact at the same time, but so it will be a corner. Martinelli takes it on the left-hand side, swinging in. Caballero comes, flaps it in. It's in the back of the net. Is it this time? Gabriel is most pleased. He's got his goal. He's felt aggrieved from the one that happened no more than 5 minutes ago, and that's killed the game now. Arsenal 3, Southampton 0.
Yeah, 62 minutes gone. It is 3-0 to Arsenal, and it's more of the same problems for Caballero. For all his experience, for all the time he's been a goalkeeper, he's never been that confident on crosses. It's always been his Achilles heel, and on this occasion, has to be said that doesn't make a good effort of coming out and claiming this corner kick at all. Gabriel now just doing a little jig there with Bukayo Saka. Two of them are delighted that this goal has been scored. But let's have a look here as this ball is whipped in by Gabriel. And yeah, I mean, I'm surprised more teams don't whip in the ball to the 6-yard box just to put goalkeepers and defenders under pressure. All these short corners mean that defenders can adjust themselves. But here the ball is whipped in. Caballero spends too much time trying to get Lacazette out the way and doesn't spend enough time actually jumping for the cross.
Yeah, does it come off his shoulder in the end of it? It looked rather quick. Gabriel makes a quick run into the end, so he only appears in the replay briefly, and that's when he's getting the vital touch, is the Brazilian. But 3-0 up, Southampton, it's a monumental mountain to climb now, and the stat of the Saints never winning away to Arsenal will carry on for another year.
Yeah, not had much joy at the Emirates Stadium, that's for sure. And Southampton, well, they're trying to win the ball back now. From Southampton's point of view, well, that's a strong challenge there from Partey as he goes crashing into James Ward-Prowse. But from Southampton's point of view, what they've got to try and do now is do what they can to at least have a little bit of resilience now in these last 25 minutes. The game's gone, but they don't want this to turn into a cricket score because, of course, this is the middle of December. We're just around the corner from a very, very busy period. Teams playing every few days, and here come Arsenal again. Yeah,
Lacazette breaking wide during the centre, and then he's got Martinelli who's cut back onto his right. He's tried to curl it into that corner. He's hit the post, rebound to Odegaard, and it's blocked. Great work from Walker-Peters, sliding, putting his body on the line, and it's close to a fourth for Arsenal.
It is very close to a fourth for Arsenal. Good run this from Lacazette. I absolutely agree with you. He's having a good game this afternoon, Max. And as this ball is laid off, Caballero's well beaten. That deserves to go in, really. But credit to Walker-Peters there, throwing his body in front of Martin Odegaard to stop that going in for 4-0. Can tell you that there's been a penalty awarded to Liverpool in the game against Aston Villa. That's still goalless, but Liverpool there, the home side, with a chance to take the lead. As here comes the corner kick, whipped in by Bukayo Saka.
Headed down, Gabriel. That's a good save by Gabriel against the header of, I think it was Ben White. We'll just wait for replay of that. I think actually might be
Tomiyasu. Ben White had gone for the short ball, expecting perhaps something that he could be flicking on. And then Tomiyasu with the header. It's a pretty accurate one as well, but a good save from Caballero.
Yeah, give him his credit on that one. Good save by the emergency keeper. So in comes the other corner, and then Gabriel looks to get a second one. It's cleared by Nathan Redmond. It's a moment of respite for Southampton if they can collect the ball again. But Arsenal come again with Xhaka on the left. Just great shirt pulling by Xhaka against Ward-Prowse. Referee doesn't see it, but Arsenal have possession. Tomiyasu has a chance to put the ball in. He does. He's clipped it in for the overhead kick. The spectacular from I think it was Martinelli. No, it's Gabriel, I think it was. And Southampton eventually clear their lines. A bit scrappy there, but Odegaard gets his head down, comes in field. There's Partey to Luck's left. Kieran Tierney now getting involved, and Martinelli on the left. Livramento and Redmond are trying to stop the player come forward. And now Xhaka, Partey, Southampton struggling to get on the ball. Xhaka ducks down to the left, cuts in field, puts the ball in. Stevens heads away, falls to Partey, lines up for the shot, keeps hold of it. Odegaard in the penalty box, bit of a tackle there, but stays on his feet. And Walker-Peters gets something on it, and Southampton just can't clear their lines. Every half clearance falls to a man in red as another shot from Tomiyasu is blocked. Granit Xhaka picks it up. Kieran Tierney now decides to go back to Arsenal from the halfway line, and it's all hands on deck for the Saints.
It is. They're trying to defend their 3-0 defeat here. They're trying to stop this from getting even worse. Mo Salah has converted the penalty for Liverpool, so they lead by a 1-0 against Aston Villa. But here come Arsenal again, down the right-hand side with Saka.
Gives a go with Thomas Partey, so can he get a chance to pull the trigger? He does, and it's hit the post again. Caballero, flat-footed. There was no way he was saving that. He was waving at it as it went by. But Southampton still haven't cleared it. Lacazette goes down in the box. Referee waves his hands across his body to signalise no foul, and Southampton finally get it clear.
They do finally get it clear, but the woodwork's saving Southampton's blushes here to turn this into a cricket score, because that's effort early that's hit the base of the post with Caballero diving. On this occasion, Caballero didn't even move. Ball strikes the post and goes away. But the problem for Southampton is they clear their lines. Ball goes straight to an Arsenal player, and Southampton just can't make it stick in midfield right now.
They can't. They really can't keep hold of it, as Ramsdale will do Southampton a favour and just tell his players to calm down, slow it down, and they will get a moment of breath back as Arsenal come forward again, and they're just moving around it. Teller and Broja just trying to apply some pressure, but Arsenal are passing around them, and they're into the midfield very easily as Lacazette comes deep and picks the ball up, and Arsenal, this is good play from Arsenal now on the right, managed to get through the midfield with ease. Now Odegaard cuts back centrally. A midfield four of Southampton gets back to goal side position to try make it difficult as Arsenal try to attempt to make a change as the ball comes in from Tierney. It's headed straight up into the air, not fully cleared as Livramento and Martinelli let it bounce, and Martinelli comes out with the ball and he fakes to give it to Tierney and turns and puts the cross in, and Stevens heads it clear to Xhaka and Gabriel getting in the way of each other, but Arsenal still have the ball.
They do. It's Rob Holding, by the way, Max. He's getting ready to come on for Arsenal. Interesting change that, really, in a game where Arsenal are 3-0 up and looking to try and increase their lead even more. But I'll break off from that because Lacazette's brought down at the edge of the area. No foul, says the referee.
No foul. All the players seem to stop and wait for the foul as a poor pass from Diallo is cut out by Kieran Tierney, and Martinelli has the ball on the edge of the box through the legs of Stevens, and it will be a Southampton goal kick as we approach 20 minutes of play left. I'll pass you over to Paul to take you through to full time.
Thank you very much, Max. Yes, and we'll just see this Lacazette. No, but in fact, we're seeing the Martinelli effort which struck the post. And now we're seeing the Bukayo Saka effort, which hit the post as well. The Saka one I'm even more impressed by because he's got two defenders in front of him. Can't really get any kind of run-up or any kind of swing into the ball. And he still somehow managed to sort of stab it towards that far post. And a change here for Arsenal with Gabriel Magalhaes going off to be replaced by Rob Holding. It's a like-for-like centre-back swap. I just wonder, perhaps Gabriel on a yellow card. And he scored, perhaps just a little bit sort of excitable today. And it looks like Armando Broja is going to have to go off here
his hamstring as well
for Southampton. Well, I was going to say actually that we've hardly mentioned him in the second half. I mean, Southampton haven't had much attacking possession anyway. But considering that we have seen a bit of Teller, we have seen a bit of Elanusi, not seen anything of Armando Broja, and he's already a young forward getting more game time than perhaps Hasenhüttl would like, and you can see that he's not replacing him with Shane Long to have another striker on the field. He wants Lianco, the central midfielder, just to try and shore things up a little bit.
So I imagine it's Teller leading the line, Elanusi on the left and Lianco playing in the middle.
Yep, that's what I would imagine. Redmond in emergency situations has played through the middle before, but I don't think, looking at where he's positioned, I think he's actually gone over to the left now. It's you could say it's almost academic because the amount of possession Southampton are getting in the Arsenal half right now, in the last 10 minutes or so, you could count in seconds. It really has been a very one-sided second half. And we're bang on 70 minutes now, 20 minutes to go, plus a bit of injury time. Looking at Southampton's next fixtures, they are away to Crystal Palace in midweek. They then play at home to Brentford, away to West Ham, and then at home to Tottenham. That's their match. That's their programme right up until the 28th of December. As for Arsenal, they're away to West Ham they're at home to West Ham in midweek. Then they're away to Leeds United next weekend in the early evening kickoff. And then they have a game against Sunderland in the League Cup before a game against Norwich on Boxing Day. That's the next few fixtures for both sides. Lacazette, judged to have given the foul away there against Bednarek. But Southampton, where they are in the league right now, Max, they're 6 points clear of relegation in 16th place. 16 points ahead of Burnley, who are on 10. So I wouldn't say that they're sort of in immediate danger of relegation, but if they have a bad Christmas, they certainly could find themselves in trouble.
Well, I think in their favour is that the bottom end of the Premier League is not great compared to other seasons. And obviously, Norwich are on Norwich was so poor before Dean Smith comes in, so he might manage to change their fortunes. But if Newcastle don't have a good January, I don't see them getting out of trouble. January is in their purchasing rather than on the pitch. Well, maybe a bit of both, but Burnley as well. Couple of teams on 1 and 2 wins. I'd be interested to see if there is a fact of at the Christmas time, around this time, beginning of December, is that have the bottom 3 combined? Is there a bottom 3 with less wins combined?
Well, it would be an interesting stat to look into that, certainly. And also with Burnley, I just think that their experience perhaps might count in their favour because they've been in this position before, and Sean Dyche doesn't panic. He knows that he can get the best out of his team as the season wears on. But in the meantime, Southampton have enjoyed a little bit of possession inside the Arsenal half. Forced to go back towards the halfway line now. Bednarek back towards Lianco. The Brazilian has just come on for the injured Armando Broja. Ball down the left-hand side now for Walker-Peters. There's an overlap from Elanusi. Here is Redmond inside the box now, trying to shake to shoot. He gets the shot away, and he forces a great save there from Aaron Ramsdale. Nathan Redmond didn't seem to have much space, didn't really have the space to even wind up for a shot, but he produces a really good curling effort and a really good save from Ramsdale, who's been a spectator in this second half.
No, he's really got no right to shoot there. He's got 3-4 good Arsenal defenders in the front of him, and he somehow managed to get it over Tomiyasu's outstretched leg, and Ramsdale flicked the stretch over. The winger on this near side, I couldn't quite see him because Diallo was standing there wide open with his arms up screaming for it. It would have had to been a fantastic pass for Redmond to get it over those Arsenal defenders for him. And it's 3-0 down. You might as well have a shot, see if you can have a go and see what benefits from it. And this corner is the benefit of that.
It certainly is. James Ward-Prowse standing over it now. Outswinger aimed at the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a real leap there from Jan Bednarek. The Polish international gets high, almost too high for that one. And in the end, heads it a long way wide. But he was certainly the intended target there. It's a good ball from Ward-Prowse. Bednarek started on the penalty spot. And Rob Holding did enough by just having his body in the way, really.
It's good. It's like the subtleties of good defending, just more about your body positioning rather than you going for the ball, especially when you know when the player's got the running jump on you like that. Benreke was miles above the next Arsenal defender, but just putting your body in the right position and doing it correctly and secretly. The referee can't really give you for an intentional blocking, just sort of defending the space rather than the ball.
Absolutely, yeah. That's precisely what Holding was trying to do there. Just get himself in the way, make it more difficult for Bednarek. Arsenal now lose the ball on the halfway line. Elanusi trying to get a run started, but he gets away from Tomiyasu, but runs straight into Odegaard. And now Thomas Partey playing it back towards Rob Holding. Granit Xhaka under pressure there from Ward-Prowse, the two captains. Well, I'll say the two captains. Lacazette's got the armband this afternoon, hasn't he? But the ball now played through towards Teller. Teller with the strike, and it looks like it's heading towards goal until a very good one-handed save there from Aaron Ramsdale. Gets down low and palms that away for a corner.
Yeah, this is a great little spell for Southampton. They haven't had this is their only bit of attacking intent of prolonged period of time they've had in this second half. A good 5 minutes for them. They need to get the one goal now. Would just have 15 minutes to get to make it interesting. They need to get on the score sheet ASAP, more for morale reasons to actually keep the game alive, because at the moment it's not really it's not a contest.
It's not. The last few minutes have been a bit better for Southampton. The corner kick from Ward-Prowse is headed away towards the edge of the area. A very tame and looking like a very wide effort there from Nathan Redmond from the edge of the area. But the consolation is it does get a deflection off an Arsenal player, so it will be another corner. It's from the left-hand side this time. You can still see quite a good round of applause there for Ward-Prowse as he comes across to take that corner. He is, of course, a rare thing in football these days, James Ward-Prowse. He is a one-club man, and you would imagine that he is going to play out his entire career at St Mary's. Southampton captain is now going to whip this one in from the left-hand side, puts a bit of height on it. Ramsdale is out. I'm more of a fan of goalkeepers catching than punching, but if you can punch the ball and it almost ends up in the centre circle, that will do.
Yeah, I suppose he doesn't want to take any risks with it raining as well. The rain is quite heavy. His gloves might be wet, and there's a slick ball. And you're 3-0 down, so just whatever seems the best. Don't risk the clean sheet, don't want to drop it and give them a chance. And then with 15 minutes to go, with 2 goals to get, it's still kind of doable. And Arsenal do have that bit of mistake in them, so there could be 3-2. Next thing you know, it could be 3-2. So put your gloves for it, punch it. Simple goalkeeping and defending.
Yeah, still plenty of instruction here from Mikel Arteta on the touchline. It's just a throw to Southampton around about the halfway line. But despite that, Arteta still feels as though there's plenty of coordination he's got to do there to try and get his side organised. It's Redmond now gets the ball, puts it on the overlap to Livramento, who tried to flick it into space. But because he had Martinelli and he had Xhaka closing him down, he ran out of space in the end, and the ball is out for a goal kick. Just to remind you, the other games in the Premier League, Chelsea lead against Leeds United by 2-1. Liverpool lead against Aston Villa by 1-0. Manchester City beat Wolves in the early game by 1-0. And Norwich against Man United still to come at 5:30 this evening. As Ramsdale takes a short goal kick here with Holding. And then just strides out of his 6-yard box. It's not forced into playing it long, just plays it square now to Holding. Over towards Tierney down the left. His ball over the top reaches the halfway line, where it's easily picked up by Lianco. And he goes forward trying to find Nathan Tella. That's a bit of a clumsy challenge from him, and brings down Granit Xhaka, who then also has a Southampton player in Diallo falling on top of him.
Yeah, I'm surprised Xhaka managed to get away with that without getting a booking. There's been moments where he's lost his head a little bit and had a little bit of afters, but
I suppose the scoreline as well helps.
Yeah,
as well,
the scoreline helps with that. We've seen that he always in the Euros this summer. We saw that maturity and that leadership from him with his country, and perhaps we're saying, why don't we see that in the Premier League? And this season, I haven't seen him lose his head as much, and there's been less mistakes that
well, I mean, he's made some PR errors, hasn't he, in the past? I think there's been a couple of occasions. There was that one occasion where he was being booed as he was being substituted, and he actually started to sort of egg it on as if they're calling, give me all you've got kind of thing, and that's never a good thing. Although I do have my own views about a whole stadium booing one of your own players, particularly one who's been there for a long time. But then I suppose footballers need to be a little bit more resilient to that. You know, they have to understand that fans can be fair weather. Sometimes you have fans that will cheer when a team plays well. Same game, as soon as they do something badly, they'll be booing and jeering and everything else. So players have to be wise to that. But Xhaka having a much more controlled game this afternoon. Arsenal were preparing to make another change as well. Just trying to see from distance. Was that Nketiah getting ready to come on?
It looked to me like it was number 23, which is...
Oh, it'll be Lokonga then. Lokonga will be coming on. I thought that couldn't quite see the number from the quick shot we got of that touchline. But we'll see Lokonga on the field momentarily for Arsenal. With 11 minutes still to play. Good ball in the side there for Tomiyasu to find Partey.
I mean, I hope it's number 23 now that I've said
it. Is. No, you're right. It is, absolutely. Lokonga, the Belgian, is getting ready to come on for Arsenal, who are just comfortable in possession now on the halfway line, with Holding switching play over towards the right-hand side for Tomiyasu. Back in towards Ben White, who certainly had his detractors this season. Came in for a bit of flack off the Arsenal social media streams after the game against Everton. But I suppose that's another thing that players have to be wise to, is that a lot of the social media accounts are there to try and to highlight mistakes, to generate sort of controversy. So players need to be a little bit more, just need to be away from that.
Yes, especially now with social media, the punditry and the fans' opinion lasts the whole week or until the next game, whereas in the past, even 10 years ago, before Twitter and Instagram became a good thing, the criticism was there in the game, in the post-match analysis, and it was there in the bar, the pub, in the chat on the way home from the game and around the family dinner table. And then went to bed, came back the new day, and that was it. That was the criticism over and done with. Whereas now, criticism can just be put online very quickly, just for a prolonged period of time, is where they can go back and highlight the clip and bring it back to a new argument and say, look, oh no, you're no good because, look, yes, you did that, but you also did this 2 weeks ago.
Also, the fact that now players can actually be contacted directly by fans. Of course, they might not be able to send a DM, but they can, of course, always mention a player's name on Twitter or Insta or Facebook, and that will eventually get through to the players as well. So it's just a case of being able to have that little bit more resilience, as Leeds United have equalised at Stamford Bridge with just 7 minutes to play there in that game. It is now Chelsea 2, Leeds United 2. Historically, that fixture always very hotly contested one. Back in Leeds' previous era in the Premier League, I remember in the 90s, that was always a tough fixture to call, really. Especially as in those days, in the certainly mid-90s, heading into the late 90s, you would argue that Leeds were probably a more successful Premier League team than Chelsea were, of course, until the Abramovich money really started to kick in from the early 2000s under Mr. Mourinho.
Joe Gelhardt with the goals, came on the 82nd minute, scored in the 83rd.
Yeah, youth
Could
player.
Be his first touch, that's a good one.
It certainly is. A youth player there from Leeds United, getting what could be a crucial equalising goal, a crucial goal for Leeds and getting a valuable point away from home. And of course, a goal that puts a spanner in the works for Chelsea's title ambitions, as Lacazette had some ambition to get down the right-hand side here, but he gets stopped, and I think the ball's actually come off the Arsenal number 9 last. So it will be a throw-on to Southampton down the left-hand side.
Southampton are in danger of just letting this game drift, because Arsenal, they're not going to take any risks. They're always going to play the simple ball, and if an opportunity opens up, they'll go for it and try to get the fourth, obviously. But the last 10 minutes, you mentioned that they've got the fixtures earlier and now the condensed Christmas period. If they just let it drift, then the fans will get bored and they'll start to moan. But if they have something to cling on to, I'm not saying go get a goal, but at least show some attacking intent, have some time with the ball, give something to the fans excitement, because Arsenal are just ringing through the changes now. They're bringing Lacazette for Nketiah, so they know the game is done. They're going to just meander this game out nice and easily, as the referee Gili come over and gave Lacazette the hurry up, and now he's off.
I'm not sure the referee needs to do that, really, because I don't think Southampton are desperate to restart play in a game where they're 3-0 down with 7 minutes to go, so that might be the referee just keeping up appearances there. Rob Holding given the captain's armband for these last 7 minutes as Alexandre Lacazette goes off, gets a good standing ovation from his manager and from the crowd. He now turns to applaud the crowd as well, and it's going to be Nicolas Pepe to come on for these final few minutes now for Arsenal. Another player who really flatters to deceive. He's got a great left foot, Nicolas Pepe, but the trouble is that certainly when he comes to attacking, everyone in the league knows that he's got a great left foot and hasn't got much of a right foot, so it does sometimes make it that little bit easier to defend against him. And with other players in attack, like Saka coming to the fore now, Pepe's really got to put his finger out to try and stay in this team.
Yeah, let's see who's leading the line then. It looks like it. Let's see, Pepe's come over to the left. Saka will stay on the right side. It looks like Odegaard might be leading the line.
Might just have a false 9 for these last few minutes as well, with the way the game has gone. It's looking like Arsenal are very, very comfortable in this game. Now just over 6 minutes to play with a bit of injury time. Arsenal leading by 3-0 as Ward-Prowse loses the ball at the edge of the area. Bukayo Saka brings it on at the edge of the area now, leaves it for Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu floats the ball into the box. Livramento with the header away. Odegaard tries to chest it down. Elyounoussi gives it away at the edge of his own box, and then Thomas Partey has an effort from 25 yards. Saw the goal in front of him, but lifts it a long way over the bar. The rain's still teeming down at the Emirates. It's been a very grey afternoon in North London. So Mikel Arteta will be very pleased that his side, after a rocky start in this game, it has to be said. That's what we 100%. Mentioned in the first half. If Southampton had scored in those first 50 minutes, we could be talking about a very different game now.
100%. The first 10, 12, 15 minutes, it was Southampton and Arsenal just couldn't put Just like we mentioned, they couldn't string any passes together, couldn't get even out their own half. And Adam Armstrong had the two best chances, really. Gabriel, yes, he's got his goal now, but he was caught napping. He gave the ball away straight to Adam Armstrong, and Ramsdale, I can't remember, Ramsdale bailed him out in the end. But it could have been so totally different if Southampton just had their first choice strikers on the pitch, and Che Adams as well. Che Adams, the top scorer for Southampton. If he was there, who knows what could have happened? It could be a different game, or it could just be 3-1. Who knows?
I know you're absolutely right. It could have been that Southampton would have got a good start and then Arsenal could have recovered and rallied. But the fact is that we'll never know that because Southampton didn't capitalise on that good start. Arsenal was sort of allowed to almost sort of edge their way back into the game, and now they look in complete control as we've got to the final minutes still to play. Teller heads it on and tries to get into a foot race with Holding, but he had a bit of a head start. And he's able to get back to Ramsdale with that one long clearance now from the Arsenal keeper. Finds Bukayo Saka, robbed of it by Kyle Walker-Peters. Tomiyasu under a bit of pressure there as well from Redmond. So he goes back towards Ramsdale. He's under pressure from Teller. And that one is cleared out for a throw to Southampton down the left-hand side. So we can see a couple of Arsenal fans getting
poncho.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's one of those free ones they're giving. I certainly wouldn't pay money for that. But yeah, it's one of those stadiums where the way in which the roof is constructed to make that more of a bowl effect, it does mean that some of those front rows do get rained on. We've seen them, of course, with the managers getting rained on this afternoon as well. But the ball now back with goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. Just plays it short to Holding. Kieran Tierney had a pretty quiet game down the left-hand side. Tierney been involved was involved in the second goal, of course. It was his chip ball, which was finished by Odegaard. Ball now out for a throw to Arsenal down the left-hand side.
He will be registered down as the assist, but it's a fortunate assist where he was so early on swiping with the ball that the ball bounced up to his legs, swinging back from that initial first cross. But kept his cool, kept his panic, didn't panic, and just gently lobbed it for Odegaard. And how he beat Benrek and Stevens, the two centre-halves, to it is anyone's guess.
Yeah, it's something that Ralph Hasenhüttl is going to have to get to the bottom of, and quickly as well, of course. All Premier League sides back in action on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday next week, and all of those games will be available on our service. Brentford, Man United, Norwich, Villa and Man City Leeds on Tuesday. Brighton, Wolves, Burnley, Watford, Palace, Southampton and Arsenal, West Ham on Wednesday. And Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool, Newcastle and potentially Leicester against Spurs. Don't know about that last one yet because there could still be a COVID situation at Tottenham. But certainly some very exciting fixtures coming up in midweek. Then a full round next weekend, of course. And then we have the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. And then we get into the madness of Christmas and New Year. So certainly football fans are going to get their fix over the next few weeks.
Yes, we are. European football takes its break over the festive period to chat with their families, and we will watch TV with our families, not talking to them.
Absolutely. It's as I say, it always amazes me that every
That's
year.
why we can't have the winter break.
No, absolutely not. It's just what we're used to, isn't it? I mean, certainly going back to a long, long way to the 50s, right into the early 60s, there was actually a full round of fixtures on Christmas Day as well, and it tended to be derbies that were played on Christmas Day, and then the return was played on Boxing Day. And
the National League doing that on Boxing Day and New Year's Day now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a heart back to those days. I think that's a little bit extreme to have a full round of fixtures on Christmas Day. I could imagine that would have caused some real rows in certain households about what's supposed to happen on Christmas.
In the NFL, don't they play a game on Christmas
They
Day?
do, but I think it's different in other countries anyway. They don't quite have that same sort of focus on Christmas Day that we do, which is like pretty much the only bank holiday where nothing happens in terms of entertainment. It's just and everything pretty much shuts down. It's pretty much the only day of the year where you could say that. But so we've allowed ourselves a little tangent there because things have just wound down a little bit here at the Emirates. You're certainly not missing anything in terms of the action. Arsenal just quite comfortable on the ball now in possession down the right-hand side, moving towards the Southampton penalty area. And here's a ball in from Odegaard, and Saka almost got that ball back towards Martinelli, who was waiting at the edge of the area. It's cleared back into midfield, Holding a step forward to pick this one up for Arsenal. Goes back towards Ben White. And the visitors now trying to press here as good work there, though, from... I was about to say there was going to be a free kick for a foul on Nicola Pepe, and I think the referee has spotted that infringement. So it will be a free kick to the home side. Arsenal just back towards Tomiyasu down the right-hand side. Odegaard finds some space here now for Saka. Back to Odegaard. Saka goes on the overlap, breaks into the penalty area, strikes it towards goal. It's just wide. He wants a corner kick. He reckons there was a touch on the ball on the way in. Referee Gerard Gile is not convinced. I don't think it's going to be a corner to Arsenal, but a lovely bit of combination play to build up that move.
Yeah, Saka just wanted to round off the performance perfectly, yet to get on the score sheet himself, and it does take a little deflection from Elyounoussi, I think it was, maybe, diving in at the end, but I don't think the referee's seen that. Sorry, it's a just goal kick. It should be a corner. Saka does really well, gets his head down, beats the man. It's what we like to see from Saka in Arsenal, and even more in an England shirt. He's just unfortunate that he doesn't get on the score sheet. I think Eddie Nketiah will feel slightly aggrieved that he didn't come on for Lacazette as a straight swap and thinking, get myself a goal here, get going, get my name out there again. But Mikel Arteta decided otherwise. No,
well, it's, as I say, Arteta does have a good few striking options, despite the fact there have been some injury problems at Arsenal this season. And as it stands now, the Gunners are still missing a couple of players. Leno is still out injured. Kolasinac is still out injured. Smith Rowe was on the injured list, but he's back on the bench this afternoon. We're into 3 minutes of injury time. There's about 2 minutes of that still to go. And a foul here on the left-hand side. Potentially a free kick in favour of Arsenal there. It was Sambi Lokonga that was brought down. Well, I mentioned Emile Smith-Rowe. He's on our screens now, and he's had an impressive season so far.
He's had a fantastic season. He's got his England debut. He's got plenty of goals. He's become a key asset to Arsenal so quickly and so young that I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It shows where kind of Arsenal are. You think they're a great club and should be flourishing, whatever, but maybe it's too much to say that the shoulders are on the shoulder. The club sort of weighs not heavily, but gives a lot of responsibility to the young talents of Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe to sort of carry them.
Well, I think
we know Aubameyang and Lacazette, they're very in and out.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as it's all done, with a bit of consideration to the fact that they are very young players, and just out and out criticism of them if they have one or two bad games is probably going to do more harm than good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with giving younger players responsibility. Famously, Alan Hansen once said you can't win anything with kids, and he mentioned a Man United team that were built up with quite a few former youth players, and they went on to become one of the most successful club sides in English football in terms of the success United had in the 90s under Sir Alex Ferguson. So it's you can't rely on your youth players to bail you out of every situation, but if you let them grow into that sort of responsibility, you certainly can feel the benefits of it, as Leeds United conceding late at Stamford Bridge. A second penalty from Jorginho there, and there may be some controversy with that, considering that there was a VAR review. But here at the Emirates, we've had the 3 minutes of injury time now, and potentially we're going to see one more corner before the end of the game, as Pepe stopped by Jack Stevens out for a corner.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal really just going through the motions now. Southampton, I think, for the last 10 minutes, it's kind of nothing's really happening with the game. It's sort of meandering around, just waiting for the clock to go. It's got a corner now, and just Southampton are just sort of, it's like to say they're playing for pride, but they haven't really shown that intensity that they really are playing for something.
I think there have been moments where they've put up a bit more resilience in the second half, but not enough, as Martinelli whips this ball in, and it's headed down, stopped by Stevens inside the 6-yard box, hooked away towards the halfway line, and referee Jared Gile calls time on this game at the Emirates. It was a slow start for Arsenal, it was a nervy start for Arsenal, but Mikel Arteta's side come good and win the game by 3-0. Thank you very much for joining us. From myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Max Hunter. Do join us again soon.